We were raised in a very kind of like granola fashion, so going over to my friends' houses, I was packing my pockets. I was a little thief. Hi, I'm Lewis Pullman. Today I'm going to tell you what my diet looks like and how it affects my training. I mean, my philosophy is pretty loose, unless I have a job that I'm preparing for, and then it's pretty regimented. I try and get as much protein in as possible. I'm also about rest. I think that's obviously very important, but I also think that like you should enjoy life and enjoy the things that you love. If you like beer, you should drink beer, and if you like bread, you should eat bread. My must-have foods are eggs, milk, avocado, and steak. Beef, actually in any form, really. I would say it's pretty slim. I'm like not a picky eater. I eat it all. My mom really made me clear the plate. If I have a choice, I'm probably gonna scoot the asparagus to the edge of the plate. It makes your pee smell so weird. I wish that I was an early morning workout guy. I admire those people who can do that. I don't get the gumption and the kind of fuel that I need for a workout until probably like after 2 p.m. Or I'm a late nighter after the day's done and then do it. I have no problem falling asleep after. I can pretty much sleep anywhere, anytime. I had to lose a lot of weight for this movie Bad Times at the El Royale. That was kind of early on in my career. Should have looked in better avenues to kind of do what I did, but essentially that was just like really doing a lot of high cardio in the beginning and lowering my caloric intake gradually over the course of like a month and a half. And then eventually I cut out the cardio and just did diet because your energy and output starts to really decrease. You don't want to be on set and, you know, be hangry. Nobody wants that. Thunderbolts was a really interesting challenge because I play Bob, who has multiple kind of facets to his character. And so in the beginning, he's very kind of scrawny and unassuming. We tried to kind of hide me under these really loose scrubs. And I tried to use my body language a lot to make him seem a lot smaller. And so how can you look like that scrawny in the beginning and then also look like you're a superhero in the end? I worked with this great trainer, Brendan. You know, I only had like a month and a half to prep, but it's how to get superhero ready. Essentially, I did a lot of boxing, eating chicken, turkey, no carbs whatsoever, and hitting the gym with him for like an hour and a half. That got me super lean. And then on like the day before, we kind of limited how much water I was drinking. And then like an hour before showtime, you're eating like Skittles and Snickers, which is fun. And you don't really even see it in the movie. You know, it's a scene where his shirt kind of gets like shot off his body. And Jake Schreier, to his credit, was like, it's kind of weird if just your shirt gets shot off your body and not like your pants. He was like, maybe we can just do this part. So then for like 2 hours before, I was just hitting abs really hard because it was just that portion of my body. That was actually a tip that Wyatt Russell gave me early on. He was like, yeah, I did that in my first go. He was like, and then I saw the actual take that they used and it was like 2 seconds on my back. He's like, I'm never doing that again. And I did it for myself. Now I know I can do it and I learned a lot. And so I integrate a lot of what I learned into my solo workouts now. There is on set in Atlanta, which is also where all the stunties work and they do all their badass shit. And so that's in the day, if we ever had any kind of downtime, we could kind of plan a training session in there. Whoa, there are so many to choose from and they're all probably good conversationalists. I'm wanting Iron Man, I'm wanting all 3 Spideys, Thor, and Yelena, you know, Florence, because she just makes the dinner party lively. And chicken shawarma, I love chicken shawarma, why? Diet. I can be like an impulsive person, and so it's really just about staying at home and not keeping stuff in the fridge that you're not allowed to eat, because if I go out and people are eating a burger, I'm gonna probably lose that battle. Okay, this is my average day. This is my average breakfast. I'm not saying this is what everyone should do. This is just what I do and what I like have an appetite for every day. I usually will do 4 eggs, either sunny side up or soft boiled with 2 pieces of sourdough bread with lots of butter and avocado and maybe some tomatoes in there. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, so usually I'll just have so I always have to remind myself to drink a bunch of water. It's never something that like intuitionally comes to me when I first wake up, but it really does kind of help move things along. Lunch is trickier because I sometimes will skip lunch or have a late lunch and then a light dinner, but usually it's something like chicken or turkey. On my off days, I love burgers, but if I'm prepping for something, burgers are kind of the light at the end of the tunnel for me. I keep those on the horizon. They keep me going. It's the carrot, the dangling carrot that kind of keeps me moving forward. And yeah, so something light, I can kind of go overboard with lunch and then have a kind of sagging portion of the day, so I try to avoid that. Dinner. Yeah, I grew up, like, my mom was making a lot of very like healthy, very conscious decisions when she was feeding us kids. So I have a palate for a lot of different things. Just try and get some greens in, usually roasted chicken, salad with chicken, and I'm not a picky eater, so in that way I just basically try and not do anything too greasy, something that's gonna make me feel really groggy when I wake up the next day. I love a good smoothie. It's hard when you got a busy schedule to get it in, so I love protein bars. They're very like limited ingredients. I had 2 of them this morning. That's getting me to where I am right now. I wish I had had my eggs and sourdough and turkey bacon, but didn't have time for it, so smoothies or some sort of meal bar is great. I just started taking AG1. I think that there's a lot of minerals that I'm missing in my daily diet. I literally don't eat enough greens, and I don't have enough of a consciously balanced diet. That's been great. It really has been helping my energy. They have not hired me, they're not paying me. I've only been doing it for like 2 months, but it's great. And then when I'm prepping for a role, I'll start doing some creatine if the job requires it. That's hard for me. It took me a long time to learn to share. I'm the youngest kid, and so I'm used to everything getting snagged off of there, so I eat really fast. I'm at a place now where I'm comfortable with it. If it's somebody who I love and who I want to be nourished, I have a lot easier time sharing out my plate. I like to cook. I like to cook with my mom because I learn a lot from her. She's a very intuitional chef, and so it's cool to watch her do that and the artistry of that. I'm not as experienced and I don't have the patience. I'm a great sandwich maker also. I'll make a mean sandwich. Turkey, arugula, avocado, some heirloom tomatoes, maybe some sauteed like farmer's market mushrooms, mayo. I know that's controversial. And like maybe just a thin layer of mustard in there. I hate a dry sandwich more than anything. My family's obsessed with fruit because my dad came to LA and was like blown away by how many fruit trees there were that were like, there was always something in bloom and there was always something that was like ripe, and they were always kind of just draped over the sidewalk and it seemed like they were begging to be picked. So he kind of like ended up planting a lot of fruit trees, and so there's always very interesting fruits being integrated into our diets and our meals. My dad makes an incredible sapote sorbet. It's almost like a sweet avocado. You don't see them a lot in farmers markets because they brew so easily. And he puts nothing in them. He just de-seeds them, de-peels them, blends them, freezes them, and then puts them through this champion juicer. And it's some of the best thing you can ever have, and you can only have it in a Pullman household. So come on over and have some sapote sorbet. I have no qualms with eating in bed. Eat in bed as long as you're okay doing a little brush off. I don't like crumbs. I'm not like under covers eating bed. I'm like cross-legged over the covers watching something. Just eat smart. I'm Lewis Pullman. Take it all with a grain of salt, but that is what my diet looks like. Thank you guys.